The Needham Unite Against Racism initiative identified policing as a key topic to be discussed in town. To engage the community in conversations about race, diversity, equity, and inclusion, the Town of Needham organized a three-part series of discussions relating to policing. The second session of Connections, Cops, and Community took place on Tuesday, May 17th. The focus of this conversation was exploring the role and impact of school resource officers. Mark Warren, a professor in the Department of Public Policy and Public Affairs at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, presented on the effect of policing in schools on the national level. Plus, Needham School Resource Officer R.J. Poirier shared what the role entails in town. Here's a look at the event.
Scholars who have compared schools with armed security officers to schools without don't find any reductions in violence at those schools. What the evidence shows is that schools that have SROs in them increases the contact students have with police. Those schools have higher arrest rates and higher referral law enforcement rates. They have also higher rates of suspension, and they also have higher rates of chronic absenteeism. And generally, what scholars find is that the presence of police in schools shifts the attention of the school from teaching and learning towards disciplinary and punitive and criminalization practices. And the reality is that in schools that have armed security officers, police are mostly called to handle routine disciplinary matters, things like disorderly conduct or misbehavior, the kinds of behavior that would not be considered a crime or cause for police intervention should they occur outside of a school environment.
In Massachusetts, we have progressive police departments. We have police reform that's been ongoing and is evolving. You know, disorderly conduct, disrupting a school assembly, those things don't exist in Massachusetts. Police officers, they're not crimes at schools. So police officers cannot and will not react to such things. Those would be considered school discipline issues, and those are things that the school resource officer does not get involved with. Now, could we be, available to support the staff, to support the students around those things? Yes, but we're not throwing kids to the ground because they're acting disorderly. That just doesn't happen in Massachusetts. It shouldn't happen in Massachusetts, and it's not happening in the Needham School District.
Black students are about 4 times as likely to be arrested or referred to law enforcement than white students. It doesn't only affect males, so in sheer numbers, it's more black males or Latinx males, but black girls are also arrested actually at 4 times the rate of white girls. And this also affects students with disabilities, so the intersection of race and disability. Black and Latino boys with disability are only 3% of students, but make up fully 12% of all school arrests. LGBTQ students are also twice as likely to be arrested as those who are not.
Within my time as a school resource officer, there has been very, very few matters of youthful offender situations. Within that, there have been even less that have gone to court. We generally at the Needham Police Department try to keep kids out of juvenile court. We don't believe it's a good path at all. There's some times when it's unavoidable depending on the particular behavior that we're looking at or offense. And of course, victim consideration comes into that as well.